Once upon a time, in a quiet town surrounded by hills, there was a young man called Alex, and he had one simple dream: to run a marathon. But this wasn't just another bucket list goal. For Alex, it was a challenge to himself, a way to prove something he'd always doubted: his own strength. Alex wasn't what most people would call an athlete. Years ago, he had been diagnosed with a condition that made physical activity difficult. Doctors warned him to take it easy, but Alex wasn't interested in easy. He was interested in trying. So he started running. It wasn't graceful or fast. On his first morning, he barely made it a quarter mile before stopping, hands on his knees, gasping for air, and eventually throwing up his breakfast. It was humbling, even embarrassing. But the next morning, he tried again. And the next. And progress was slow. So slow that no one really noticed, except him. Over time, Alex stopped caring about how far or fast he was going. What mattered was showing up. Rain or shine, he laced up his sneakers and hit the trail. Small milestones added up. First a mile, then two. He wasn't competing with anyone else, only the part of him that wanted to quit. And when Alex signed up for his first marathon, people didn't know what to think. Some were encouraging. Others thought he was setting himself up for failure. Why push yourself so hard? They asked. What's the point? You should take it easy. Remember what the doctor said. And Alex didn't have an easy answer. It wasn't about proving anyone wrong or chasing glory. It was about seeing how far he could go, even if the only person watching was himself. The marathon day arrived. The starting gun fired, and Alex moved at his usual steady pace. Other runners surged ahead, but he focused on his rhythm. Step by step, mile by mile. By the halfway point, his legs ached, and the crowd of runners had thinned out. At mile 20, he hit the wall. Every part of his body begged him to stop running. But he kept moving, not because it was easy, but because he had learned how to push through discomfort. This wasn't new to him. The long, lonely mornings on the trail had prepared him for this moment. When Alex finally crossed the finish line, the race was nearly over. The crowds had dwindled, and there were no cameras or medals waiting for him. Just a quiet satisfaction that he'd done what he set out to do. His accomplishment wasn't about proving anything to the world. It was about proving something to himself, that he could stick with something, no matter how hard it got. Alex didn't become famous, and he didn't start calling himself a hero. He just kept running, day after day, chasing nothing but his own limits, and finding out that he was capable of more than he ever had thought possible. You see, in life, in your life, you don't have to move fast, and you don't have to prove anything to others. You just have to keep moving. One small step, and then the next, and then the next. And that's how change happens. And most importantly, do it for yourself. Because there's no one else watching. This is Dare to Do Motivation Stories. Thank you so much for watching, and stay blessed.